This video will present topics of murder, violence, and death. It is thus unsuitable for all audience. Viewer discretion is advised.
Saint Romuald was born around 951 AD in Ravenna, a city in northern Italy. He was born into a noble family. His father, Sergius, was a duke. Romuald's life was marked by privileges and responsibilities that came with his noble status. However, despite the comfort and wealth, he felt drawn towards a more ascetic and spiritual life. Romuald's life took a drastic and decisive turn when, as a young man, he witnessed his father unalive a relative in a duel over a property dispute. This dramatic event profoundly impacted him, leading him to seek atonement and solace in the monastic life. At around the age of 20, he entered the Benedictine monastery of Saint Apollinaire in Classe near Ravenna. His zeal for the monastic grew, and he soon felt the need to pursue a more austere form of monastic life. After 3 years, he left the monastery to live as a hermit. Under the guidance of Marinus, a hermit, Romuald deepened his practice of asceticism and contemplation. Romuald spent the next several years traveling and establishing hermitages and monasteries. His most significant contribution to monasticism was the founding of the Camaldolese order, a branch of the Benedictines, around the year 1012. The name Camaldolese comes from the area of Camaldoli in Tuscany, where Romuald established a hermitage. The Camaldolese order combined a communal monastic life with the hermit's solitary life. Romuald designed a rule that allowed for balance between these two aspects, promoting both community life and individual solitude for prayer and contemplation. This dual aspect was innovative and attracted many followers seeking a deeper spiritual life. Romuald continued to lead a life dedicated to reforming monastic practices, promoting asceticism, and founding new communities. His reputation for holiness and miracles grew, and he became a spiritual guide to many. Despite facing opposition and challenges, including jealousy and resistance from established monastic communities, Romuald's influence persisted. He spent his later years in the hermitage at Val di Castro in the Apennine Mountains. It was there that he passed away on June 19th, 1027, at the age of 75 or 76. He was buried in the monastery he founded, and his tomb quickly became a site of pilgrimage. Saint Romuald was canonized in 1595 by Pope Clement VIII. His feast day is celebrated every year on June 19th, the anniversary of his passing. Romuald's legacy lies in his profound impact on monastic life in the medieval Europe. The Camaldolese order continues to thrive, embodying his vision of a balanced monastic life that integrates community living and solitary contemplation. His life and work also contributes to the broader ascetic and reform movements within the church, influenced later spiritual leaders and monastic reforms. Saint Romuald is remembered as a pioneer of the Eremitic monasticism, a reformer, and a saint who dedicated his life seeking God in solitude and community, leaving a lasting imprint on Christian community and spirituality. Saint Romuald's iconography is rich and varied. reflecting his significant contributions to the monastic life and his profound spirituality. Here's a brief account of the elements commonly found in artistic representations of Saint Romuald. The hermit's garb. Saint Romuald is often depicted wearing the white habit of the Camaldolese order, which he founded. The habit usually includes a hood, symbolizing his life of solitude and prayer. Another prominent feature in many depictions is his long white beard, symbolizing wisdom and passage of time spent in contemplative life. Romuald is frequently shown holding a book or scroll as well, signifying his role in writing and establishing the rule of the Camaldolese order. A skull often appears in his representations as well, highlighting his focus on penance, mortality, and the ascetic lifestyle. Sometimes a raven is depicted with him, representing his connection to nature and his solitary hermitage. The crucifix is a common attribute, underscoring his deep devotion to Christ and his life of prayer. In many images shown him in the wilderness setting, emphasizing his hermit's lifestyle and the establishment of hermitages. Saint Romuald by Andrea Sacchi, made in 1630. This painting is one of the most famous representations of Saint Romuald. It shows him in a contemplative pose, dressed in a white habit with a long white beard and holding a crucifix. The background features a serene natural setting reflecting his hermetic lifestyle. It is located in the Galleria Nazionale d'Arte Antiquità in Rome, Italy. This work is celebrated for its serene, introspective quality, capturing the spiritual depth of Saint Romuald. Vision of Saint Romuald by Guercino, made in 1625. This painting depicts the legendary vision of Saint Romuald, where he saw monks ascended to heaven on a ladder. The saint is shown in the foreground looking up at the vision, with his white habit and beard clearly visible. The painting is located in Pinacoteca Nazionale in Bologna, Italy. The artwork emphasizes the mystical experiences and divine insights attributed to Saint Romuald. Saint Romuald in Glory by Giovanni Battista Morini, made sometime in the 16th century. This altarpiece shows Saint Romuald in a celestial setting surrounded by angels. He is depicted in a white habit with a serene expression, holding a book and a crucifix. It is found in the church of San Romualdo, Ravenna, Italy. This piece highlights the saint's glorification and his spiritual legacy in the church. The frescoes in the Hermitage of Camaldoli. The hermitage, founded by Saint Romuald in Camaldoli, features various frescoes depicting scenes from his life. These include his conversion, founding of the order, and moments of prayer and solitude. It is, of course, found in Camaldoli Hermitage in Tuscany, Italy. These frescoes are significant for their historical and spiritual portrayal of the saint within the very environment he created. Here are some brief description of the icons found and their symbolism. The white habit symbolizes purity, simplicity, and the aesthetic life. The long beard represents wisdom, experience, and the passage of time devoted to spiritual practices, while as a book or scroll would reflect his intellectual contributions and the monastic rule he established. The skull, or a memento mori, reminding viewers of the transient nature of life and the importance of penance. Ravens, often associated with hermits, symbolize the solitude and connection to the natural world that the saint would have had. The crucifix represents his deep Christian faith and the centrality of Christ in his life. The wilderness in the background finally emphasizes his life of solitude and contemplation in nature. Saint Romuald's iconography encapsulates his dedication to the monastic reforms, his ascetic lifestyle, and his profound spirituality, serving as an enduring inspiration for those seeking a deeper spiritual path. Saint Romuald, the founder of the Camaldolesi order, is attributed with numerous miracles that reflect his deep spiritual connection and sanctity. Here's a brief description of some of the most notable miracles associated with him. One of the most famous miracles attributed to Saint Romuald involves a monk who was paralyzed and bedridden. Romuald prayed fervently for the monk's recovery, and after making the sign of the cross over him, the monk was miraculously healed and able to walk again. This miracle underscores Romuald's deep faith and the power of his intercessory prayers. Romuald is also said to have delivered several individuals from demonic possessions. In one notable case, a young man tormented by an evil spirit was brought to Romuald. After a series of intense prayers and invoking the name of Christ, Romuald was able to cast out the demon, bringing peace to the afflicted individual. These exorcisms highlight Romuald's spiritual authority and his ability to confront and overcome evil through prayer. On several occasions, Romuald is believed to have miraculously protected his monasteries from harm. In one instance, when a fire threatened to destroy a hermitage, Romuald's prayers are said to have caused the flames to extinguish miraculously, saving the buildings and the monks. This miracle reflects Romuald's role as a protector and guardian of his monastic communities. One of the most well known mystical experiences of Saint Romuald is his visions of a ladder ascending to heaven with monks clad in white garments climbing to it. This vision inspired Romuald to promote a life of greater asceticism and contemplation among his followers, emphasizing the path to spiritual ascent and union with God. The visions reinforced Romuald's commitment to monastic life and reform, and the importance of a disciplined spiritual life. In times of scarcity, Romuald is said to have performed miracles of provision. On one occasion, when the hermitage was running out of food, he prayed, and miraculously, supplies were replenished, ensuring that the community did not go hungry. This miracle illustrates Romuald's trust in divine providence and his role as a caring leader who ensured the well being of his monks. According to legend, Romuald planted his staff into the ground at the hermitage site, and it miraculously blossomed into a fruitful tree. This event symbolizes the spiritual fullness, and growth for the monastic community under his guidance. This miracle symbolizes new life and growth, reflecting the rejuvenating spiritual impact of Romuald had on his followers and the monastic tradition. Finally, after his passing, many miracles were reported at Romuald's tomb. Pilgrims who visited his burial site at the Val di Castro hermitage experienced healings and others miraculous signs. These posthumous miracles contributed to his veneration and eventual canonization. The continued occurrences of miracles at his tombs indicates Romuald's enduring spiritual presence and the intercessory power even after his passing. Saint Romuald's miracles reflect his profound spiritual authority, his deep connections to God, and his role as a reformer and protector of the monastic life. These miracles contributed to his reputation for holiness and his legacy within the Christian tradition. Saint Romuald's canonization process, like many of the medieval saints, was complex and unfolded over centuries. Here's a brief description of the process, including historical context, key steps, and significant milestones. The canonization process in the early medieval ages was less formalized than in later periods. Saints were often proclaimed by popular acclamation, local bishops, or regional synods. It was not until the 12th century that the Roman Catholic Church began to centralize the process under the authority of the Pope. Following Romuald's passing on June 19th, 1027, his followers and the monastic communities he founded began to venerate him as a saint. Reports of miracles at his tomb and his reputation for holiness contributed to the local veneration. His feast day was celebrated locally on the anniversary of his passing, June 19th. Various hagiographical works documenting Romulan's life, miracles, and spiritual legacy were compiled. One of the most important sources is the Vita Sancti Romualdi, written by Peter Damian, a contemporary and admirer of Romuald. Peter Damian's work played a significant role in preserving Romuald's legacy and spreading his cult. Detailed accounts of the miracles attributed to Romuald were collected and disseminated among his followers and the wider Christian community. By the time of the centralization of the canonization process, the papacy took a more active role in investigating the sanctity of individuals venerated as saints. This involved verifying the authenticity of the miracles and the orthodoxy of the candidate's life and teachings. Pope Clement VIII initiated a formal investigation into Romuald's life and miracles. This was a significant step as papal recognition was essential for official canonization during this period. On February 7th, 1595, Pope Clement VIII officially canonized Romuald, recognizing him as a saint of the Roman Catholic Church. This canonization affirmed the widespread veneration of Romuald had received for centuries and acknowledged the miracles and attributed to his intercession. The canonization of Saint Romuald solidified his status as a model of monastic reform and spiritual discipline. It is also encouraged to the continued growth and influence of the Camaldolese order, which he founded. Following his canonization, Saint Romuald's feast day was included in the liturgical calendar of the Roman Catholic Church, celebrated on June 19th. His life and miracles continue to inspire artistic representations, including paintings, statues, and stained glass windows in churches and monasteries associated with the Camaldolese order and beyond. St. Romuald's legacy as a reformer of monastic life endured, influenced subsequent generation of monastics life, and contributed to the broader movement of monastic reform in medieval and early modern Europe. His tomb at Val di Castro Hermitage and other sites associated with his life, became important pilgrim destinations, drawn the faithful seeking spiritual inspiration and miraculous intercession. The canonization of Saint Romuald was a gradual process that involved local veneration and hagiographical documentation, all the way to formal papal investigation and approval. His enduring reputation for holiness, his fundamental role at the Camaldolese order, and the numerous miracles attributed to him were key factors in his eventual recognition as a saint by the Roman Catholic Church.